What's up, family? It's Marquise James Mayo. Welcome to the third episode of I'm Just Saying. Sorry it's taking so long to get this episode going. This is, I said in the last video we were going to talk about, I was going to talk about relationships this time around. But I actually decided to change pace a little bit. I bumped into a friend of mine, and he had asked me about doing videos about where we're from, which is Norristown. And I told him I would definitely be happy to do so. So last week, there was a post. Another friend of mine, Percy Jones, class of 2001. He posted a a post about the Norristown Recreation Summer Camp increasing from $100 to $250. And by the end of the night, well, I saw it the next day. By the end of that next day, it had over 250 comments. So that issue definitely touched the nerve with a lot of people, and there were a lot of different opinions that range from, oh well, I guess I gotta pay to, I'm not sending my kid to that camp or my kids to that camp. So I figured as the first video of my of kind of reporting on local issues and what we can do about it, we being Norristonians, I figured I'd talk about this first. So I got in touch with the director of Norristown Rec, and at the time I talked to him, he had a couple answers for me, and he had some more things he had to figure out. So he told me he would get back to me. So I ended up getting in touch with another friend of mine, someone I know, Councilman Gary Hayward, and he put me in touch with Crandall Jones down at City Hall, if you will. And I asked him all the questions that, that I felt people were either needing the answers to or needing clarification to. So he emailed me back today, and I didn't want to do the video until I got all the right information. So here's the deal. Question number one was, is it a weekly cost or is it a cost for the entire camp? And I think most people realized it was the cost for the entire camp, but there were still some people asking, is this $250 a week or whatever? And the answer was the cost is for the entire camp. So it's $250 for the entire camp. The second question was, how long is the camp? And the camp is 10 weeks. So $250 for 10 weeks, $25 a week. The third question, is there a multi-child discount for families? And he said there will most likely be a discount for multiple children. So for families that got 2, 3, 4, however many kids going to Norristown Rec Summer Camp, having that discount will alleviate the burden a little bit. Fourth question, are chips included in the price increase, and if not, how much extra will they be? No, they're not included. The cost of the trip will depend on the cost of the venue. So I'm assuming, it's like face value cost. You pay whatever it is to get in. There's no kind of camp discount. I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I'm reading that. Is there a payment plan option for parents who may need it? He says there's not. So that's a tough one there. And the last question I asked was, are the new programs to reflect the new increase? And he said, while there will be new programs in the future, the price increase is due to the fact that the $100 fee, $10 per week, was not covering the costs associated with having the camp. The fee increase allows the municipality to better cover costs and actually generate funds to reinvest into the recreation programs. That's, sounds good to me right now. We'll see how that plays out as time goes on. But here's, those are the facts. And, I'm to Brother Jones and Brother Gary, thank you both for getting that squared away for me. And Brother Bill, who runs the Norristown Rec, thank you for getting back to me and trying to get this thing squared away. Those are the facts. Now here's my opinion. We, as Norristonians, need to find ways to reinvest in our community. And I heard a lot of people talking about, I send my kids to this camp, I'll never send them to Norristown, they don't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. And that's all well and good. My personal opinion, if that's what you do, then what's the point of you complaining or I know everybody has the right to their opinion, but if your opinion is not making things better, then you're better off keeping it to yourself, for real, but that's just me. Now, another classmate of mine, Hakeem Jones, he put up on that same post that Norristown is now $250 for residents and $350 for non-residents. West Norton is $275 for residents, $375 for non-residents, and East Norton is $325 for residents and $425 for non-residents. So even with the increase, it's still the cheapest camp in our immediate area. And like the brother said when he emailed me back, there will be new programs in the future, and this increase is to help so that Norristown can reinvest into the summer program and grow it. So and that all sounds nice. It all definitely sounds nice. But here's the thing that I'm thinking about. I know a lot of people think about. I did a little research into Norristown property taxes in Norristown. Property taxes is a large revenue stream for communities and towns across the country, and Norristown pays in total the third highest property taxes in the county, and the municipality tax is amongst the highest. I think is in the top 2 or 3. It might be the top, but it's definitely in the top 2 or 3. And the school tax is in the top 5. And added all together, it's the third highest in the county. So, depending on the cost of your house, obviously, your property taxes could be pretty steep. And all that money is going back into the community, supposedly. And obviously, if you don't own a house, you have your income tax and all those things that go into, or if you work in Norristown, even if you don't live here, you pay Norristown income tax. So, someone had mentioned on a post I put, what about the potholes in Norristown and things of that nature? And really, those are things that, if you notice something like that, now Times Herald has a section where if you take a picture of the pothole and send it to them, they'll make a story about it and try to get some action moving on it. That's just kind of one avenue that you have to voice your complaint. But there's town hall meetings that, where we can really voice our complaints and our displeasure and things of that nature. And I'm not going to jump on the soapbox here because I've never been to one, and that's real. I've never been to one. I would like to make it a mission of mine to be there as often as I can. Because it's the same thing like when you vote in elections. If you don't vote, your voice isn't heard. If you don't show up to town hall meetings and voice, in a respectful way, voice any kind of concerns you have, you can't depend on somebody else to speak for you because their concerns or your concerns can be totally different. Their concerns might be stuff you really don't care about, and vice versa. So, you know, you we have to be there to say these things and put it in the council's ear about what's going on. So, I mean, my message to Norristonians is to really to make that effort to get out to the council meetings and hear what's going on in our town, what's happening with the money, you know, what's happening with this and that. So, if anything, what I got from the post and all the comments was people do care about what's happening in town, even though it's summer camp or whatever. You know, people do care because when the price goes up that much, it does affects people, and you should care. You know, if you have 3 kids that's going to camp, if there wasn't a discount, that's $750 for camp. But I will say this, you know, like I said, it's 25 hours a week. Where can you go to a daycare and pay $25 a week? Because at the end of the day, that 10-week camp is childcare. That's what it is. It's childcare. If you send your kids to daycare, you know what I'm saying, because I have a daughter in daycare, and for those 10 weeks, that's what that is. You're paying somebody to watch and be responsible for your child or your children. And if the price was only $100 before, that's a steal. $10 a week. So that's why when people were really complaining about it, I really couldn't. I mean, I really didn't take it too seriously, because you were getting, even if the programs weren't top notch, you know, NASA quality camp programs, you know, you're still paying $10 a week for somebody to watch your kid so you can work. You know what I mean? So you can go out and make money. So, you know, yeah, it increased. And that increase could, you know, sting some people. But even still, $25 a week. And as I was told in the email, that he said that he's sure that there'll be discounts for multi-children families. If you can go out, and you know, a lot of people hate this argument, but the truth hurts sometimes. If you can go out and buy them Gucci's, you know, I'm pretty sure you can afford to send your kid to camp, even with the increase. You putting that $100, $200 weave up in your head, I'm pretty sure you can afford to send your child to camp. So for the people who complain, like, you know, you complain the loudest, but is out spending their money frivolously, you get no sympathy from me, because, you know, put your money towards something that you know you need. What you need in the summertime, what we all need in the summertime, is childcare. You know what I mean? Everybody has to work, you know. So, and unless you have, you know, family members or friends who can take care of your kids while you're working, which, you know, it's not that easy. You have to pay. Free childcare is it's impossible. And yeah, I know the trips aren't included, but even still, not only are you getting the child care, they're going to camp, they're interacting with other kids, you know, they're going on these field trips. Put the money aside so that you can take care of your kids and make sure they go to this camp. And like I said earlier, you know, if you want to send your kid to a camp outside of Norristown, if you're a Norristonian, that is completely your business. And I'm not telling you not to do it. But what I am saying that, you know, people who are on the fence, we need to reinvest in our community as much as we possibly can. If that means sending your child to Norristown Rec and putting that money back into Norristown programs, then do that. If that means signing your kid up at the PAL Center for some sports or whatever, instead of sending them somewhere else to play sports in another town, do that. We can't keep complaining, myself included, about how Norristown is changing, going downhill, if we're not willing to make it better ourselves. And one way to do that is to reinvest in our community and put it on the council to, we're putting all this money in here, we're paying our taxes, we're sending our kids to these programs, we're doing this, doing that. Now what are y'all going to do to make this a better place to live? Now, and personally, another opinion of mine is all of these houses being built, all these developments is not it. We need businesses in Norristown to generate even more revenue. You know what I mean? We need, a functioning, have decent community center. Say what you will, take it how you want it. The Carver is not it. You want to have a dance there, some have a party, by all means. They're good for that. There's a lot of space. But when you look at surrounding communities and look at their community centers, the Carver is ancient. It hasn't kept up with what's going on around it. And you ask, well, why? I don't know. Is there not enough money in Norristown to build a legit, good quality community center where it's not just basketball courts and the stage, but you have party rooms. Plymouth is the best example. When Plymouth opened up, we was going over there in droves to use Plymouth, and people still do, because we don't have nothing like that in town. So that's always been a thing I've always thought about is, what would it take for us to get our own community center like that? You know what I mean? Or along those lines. Maybe not the exact same building, but exact same specs, but a community center that is truly a community center. You have jobs for people, just like Plymouth and other rec centers. You have people working there. You're creating a few jobs in the area. So, you have a place for the kids to go. It's obviously cheaper for residents to enroll in the different programs and to get a membership. So, the question is, what is stopping us from doing that? I see a lot of developments going up. They're putting one up on the Calp Street right now, Arbor Muse, I believe the name is. They're finding places to stuff people in Norristown, residence-wise, but, what is attracting businesses to come here? Because a lot of businesses have left over the years. I've been here 31 years, ever since the day I was born. And a lot of businesses have left Norristown. A lot of, has closed down, and a lot of them have moved to different areas. But what is being done to attract more business here? Bring more jobs, make this a more attractive place to live and work and raise your kids. You know what I mean? The Norristown is too small of a place. It's not even a city. It's too small of a place to, we're in the suburbs. This ain't the hood. Nothing hood about Norristown. It's the suburbs. We're a suburb of Philadelphia. There should be no reason why a small town like this, people wouldn't want to, retire here or raise their family here. But there's so much foolishness going on, people want to leave. So that's just my little personal opinion, take it for what it's worth. Hate it and love it. Everybody's entitled to them. So that is my video about the Norristown Rec situation. And I ask that all of those who view this video You can check it out on my YouTube channel. You can check it out on the video blog page on Facebook, or you can check it out. I'll also post it on my personal Facebook page. Leave your comments. Like I said before, all I ask is people be respectful. I'll block you if you get out of pocket, and that's just it. But not just leave comments, but other ideas, other issues you may have with Norristown. Because I'm not just going to do random videos like the relationship video or stuff like that. I want to also do some local stuff about where we're from, where we at right now. So, any ideas, anything you have about town that you will like me to talk about, by all means, send it to me. I'll do my due diligence, do my research, get any information I can get the best and most accurate information, and then relay it to y'all the best way I can. So thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Take it easy.